So I just wanted to make a video on the Sea Meteor Mark III because I've been playing it recently to grind out the lightning, and I realized it is still the insane, just overwhelming performance plane that it used to be years ago. So instead of showing a game at its own battle rating, which would be rather easy as well, I'm showing a game where I've purposely thrown myself here with my squad mate, and just watch the acceleration. I am almost on par with the Mark IV short wing, which is at 8.0, and we've now been up tiered into 9.0. And the Sea Meteor is 7.3. So we're flying in 9.0. And yes, the Mark IV does start to take off. It should. It's far higher battle rating. But the Sea Meteor can hold its own, even in a 9.0, which is just quite unbelievable. And we'll just speed up here now until we get into the fight, because this is just a climbing game. I do climb a bit here, as I just want to have some flexibility in what I can do and the maneuvers I can perform. And also so that I'm not in front of my team, because as ridiculous as it is, I'm still flying with my team in a Mark III. So coming up on the sort of furball that's developing here, and normally if I was in that Mark IV, I'd probably approach this far more cautiously, but being in the Mark III, if I just came in here and died, you know, I really wouldn't mind, since I'm in a Mark III. I'm looking at the F9s, Fs, and the Sabres off to the left, but you know, they're just going to be far too quick for me, so I'm not going to even attempt to approach that. Luckily, this A4E really just gives himself up to me. This is just a perfect target. I'm aware that there's a Sabre behind me, but I really don't care. I'm just hoping he's sort of a bot and doesn't hit me. He does hit me, damages my right engine. And I notice he's still on my tail here. So I'm going to try to pull him away from the battle here a little bit, because I really would rather a 1v1, because in a 1v1 with a mediocre Sabre pilot or a bad Sabre pilot, I think I can pull off, but in the you know, in the furball with everyone else around, it would be a lot more difficult. I'd probably die. So he's readily coming to this dogfight. He probably thinks this is just an easy kill. Maybe he doesn't even realize it's a Sea Meteor instead of a regular meteor. And I'm just going to engage in a classic little trying to make him overshoot, trying to reverse him. Just really tiny little scissor actions right here, and he just jumps into this. If he was a good Sabre pilot, he would not be partaking this in whatsoever. He'd fly away and probably just come back down onto me. So to stress, you know, obviously to get kills in this battle rating, you do need to rely on the other pilot not being very good, but that's a reliable assumption you can make, because the jet pilots these days are generally reliably mediocre. And so he's fallen right into this trap, and at this speed, my performance is truly very similar to his Sabre. I will accelerate, I will turn better than him, I will accelerate reasonably similarly. My energy retention could even be better. And there we go, we've just, you know, gotten that Sabre kill, which is pretty sweet. I was pretty happy about that. And just demonstrating that you throw a Sea Meteor into the furball at 9.0 and it's going to perform. Now, unfortunately, since he did hit my right engine, I will have to land, because, you know, as good as the Sea Meteor is, it's not gonna do anything with one engine. Although you can still fly with one engine, which is great. And you can see here now the engine will die eventually, of course, but even with this yellow engine, I'm maintaining 780 kilometers on the deck, which at 7.3 is just unbelievable. And it's pretty solid overall. You know, I have nearly one dead engine. So here I go. I'm just going to land. And then when I take off again, there's really only going to be one enemy left. It's going to be an F9F, and he's going to have to RTB as well. And I know this because our teammates watching it. So I know I have a safe landing, and then I know I'm just going to go over there to their air base, and I'm going to have to fight this F9F. Possibly even in a 2v1 with our own MiG-15. Luckily, our own MiG-15 is competent, cleans up the second last guy. Now it's really just down to that F9F. I quickly check the F9F stats, so I know what I'm dealing with. I'll approach it very differently if I know it's a good pilot versus a not good pilot. Just a really nice shot here of the Sea Meteor taking off. I honestly do think it's a beautiful plane. And I'm just going to skip ahead here. I know the F9F is RTB, and I know I can just go over there. So now I'm spotting him take off here, and I do make several mistakes in this following engagement, which I'll definitely point out. Not perfect. Not perfect at all. So the first mistake here is that I'm going to actually lose track of this F9F. You can see him very faintly traversing over now. He's getting to the far right side of the screen now. But in game, I have completely lost him. I think he's closer to the airbase than he is, and I underestimated the speed. Or I just didn't calculate it properly at all. So I've completely lost him at this point, and I've totally blown my chance for a quick kill while he's at super low energy. And once the F9F gets to a certain state, if the pilot knows what he's doing, I'm not going to kill it. But I'm hoping, he'll fight me anyway. So there I finally spot him. The spotting system just, decides to pick him up. At that point, for whatever reason, the spotting system works in mysterious ways, and it is quite impossible to understand. But now I see him. I'm never going to catch this guy if he just keeps accelerating, but we do have the MiG-15 coming in, which is great. If the MiG-15 wasn't here, honestly, I don't know how this would have ended. If he fought me, if we got into a proper dogfight, I'm confident I would have gotten him, but if he played it correctly and just boom and zoomed, like, obviously, there would be nothing I could do. And I would probably die. But we do have the MiG-15. The spotting system loses him again, I guess because of the clouds, and it just doesn't pick him back up. Why? I don't know. And then in a second here, it'll just... I mean, you can see his dot. Luckily, I don't... Just kind of looking around, and there he is. The spotting system picks him back up. And I'm moving in to engage this guy. And here comes the MiG-15. Pretty good timing. You can see the F9F still is at a fairly low state of energy. I'm catching him at 800 kilometers. And the biggest drawback of the Sea Meteor is the top speed. At 9.0 is the top speed. It literally will rip. And here I totally potato some shots. Great job. The Sea Meteor will rip at 850. And it will literally just rip at sea level going in a straight line. That's how powerful the engines are. So you have to be really, really careful. And the wings will also rip if you try to maneuver above around 680, which is something that you also have to be really careful for. So the next mistake I'm going to be here is I'm really trying to compensate for those wings ripping. Like, I really don't want to rip my wings, obviously. So it come around. I can outturn this F9F all day, as you can see. I get one hit in here. And this is where I basically almost kill myself. I realize I'm going way too fast, and I level out, and, I could have easily broken my wings there. But what I did allow is the F9F to get a shot, and again, if the MiG-15 wasn't there, if the MiG-15 hadn't hit him with a rocket, and, the F9F clearly prioritized the MiG-15 to get that missile off. If that didn't happen, maybe the F9F would have killed me there, maybe I would have been able to pull out of it, and finally I do get this shot. So yeah, that's the last enemy dead. That's 3 kills in a Sea Meteor at 9.0, which I was rather pleased with. And I did almost fuck that up. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this shows that the Sea Meteor is an absolute demon at 9.0. So imagine what it can do at 7.3, where it flies against, MiG-9s.